in order to throw a parole. I think the role of winning movement will actually be to make America united again.
Maybe Medicare for all.
Well,
Something that most Americans
but,
want. I mean,
but this is exactly the great topic. Like we had this in the class, and the people were studying this, and we were looking at the smallest common denominators that can mobilize the most of the people. Interestingly enough, my students came to this. It's something related to the health insurance because it relates to a lot of people. When it comes to to the women's rights, it is this far of, who said that on the TV, and, it's like this insulting language. And then also the abortion issue. It's actually the, how do you call it, equal salary for equal work. Like this, if you want to mobilize the most, this is the result from my students. So this is not what I'm thinking. Because it's unfair, and also because you have a champions of this, the companies that are paying women equally, and you have the whole undocumented world of fast food chains where women are paid 25% or less than a man. So playing this game will bring you inside the political spectrum. And yes, you are fighting the small victory in females' rights. So when you're looking at these movements, you're looking at battles you can win, but also how these battles relate from bringing people from the middle.
It's really interesting you say that, because there is a debate right now internally in the Democratic Party over, do we focus on identity politics or do we focus on economic politics? And I wouldn't even say Bernie Sanders is only talking economics. I think it's more intersectional, which is how he has, undocumented dreamers who are supporting him, and Black Lives Matter activists are supporting him, as well as union workers and a collection of, unlikely bedfellows. But it seems like all the issues that you are mentioning that have the broadest appeal do relate to the economy in some way.
Some of them relate to economy. Some of them relate to human dignity.
What's an example?
Well, it means like what is really interesting is like we were working with the groups from Egypt in the times of Mubarak, and it's like the when people see things, that things are bad and the streets are falling apart. But what really moves people is injustice. So their main thing was like, it's not that it is bad, but it's not fair. Right. So like this understanding that the things are not fair. Also coming back to the values of democracy. I think the one of the problems that you have in largely or longly apathetic societies is that for too long time the people were taking the human rights, equality, democracy for granted. Which is why I'm going to quote American President Reagan, who says that democracy is only one generation, always, far from extinction. So it's like, you understand, it's like...
Thomas Jefferson said every generation needs to have revolution.
Well, I agree on this. Yeah. And I'm so happy to see that the people who are uprising in Russia against the corruption, they're like age of 18, 19, so they don't really swallow this propaganda, it was chaos in 90s, and then the Putin came, and now it's order, and everything is beautiful, because they don't remember chaos. Right. They were born in Putin's Russia. They go on the streets, they see the corruption, they see the potholes, they see lack of delivery, and they see best of their mates leaving country. So they see these things. So this is the part of the problem. Once again, back to the story, we need a unifying vision. We need to build from commonalities. We need to give up these little differences. And for you guys, don't trust your politicians. Every single movement I've seen in the last, we are working with nonviolent movements from 40 different countries, my organization Canvas, and wherever we go, it is always in the hands of hobbits. Little people like hobbits, yes. Who are the hobbits? Powerful, shiny warriors. No. Small people with hairy legs who love good eat, good drink, laying back, smoking pot. These are the heroes of Lord of the Rings, and these are the heroes of social movements. So, yes, you will need an elf here, a man here, a wizard there. You have unlikely partners in your journey, but the biggest thing to understand that it has to be you. If you don't do it, nobody else will do. Don't expect this from party politicians, please. It's very naive in the 21st century. In the U.S., in Serbia, anywhere in the world.
I don't think anybody in our audience right now is not skeptical of politicians. I'd say that we serve that audience pretty well. How do you convince, it started with just 12 students, and your government changed. Slobodan Milosevic was a war criminal. He died
in a trial.
In a trial, exactly. How do you convince when there's so much opposition, when it just seems like the government is so big, or there's so many different battles to fight? How do you get your colleagues and your friends to join in your cause? I mean, it was 12 of you who thought, oh, why not?
Well, I mean, there is a chapter in the Blueprint for Revolution book which is called "Think Big, Start Small."
And this, just to make this is a very well-known book that was used in the Arab Spring, has been used in a lot of different movements, Occupy.
Yeah, I think you would love it. And but basically, what we are looking at is like you need to start small. So you need to look at the achievable goal, attainable goals, but you also need to look at the achievable and attainable subject that brings people together. And for your audience, the best educational movie for this, maybe Milk. Sean Penn's Harvey Milk. You see the evolution of first of all, who was he? Hobbit, camera shop owner. So he was not like a person bred in Harvard to be in politics or whatever. So he starts small. He puts the gay rights and injustice, and that was a very oppressive environment for gay people at the time. It was not democracy for gay people,
Right.
like it was democracy for some other people, because it was considered mental illness. So he starts in being this soapbox preacher in his tiny little trousers, shouting across the street, basically annoying everybody. So he wants to run for the office in San Francisco. He starts with this campaign. He ends up being ninth. Okay. So he moves a little bit into the mainstream, wears a tie, campaigns like a traditional politician a little bit more, hires a woman to be his public relations officer. It's all in the movie, to the shock of his gay male friends. He ends up being third. And then he has a fantastic revelation. He starts listening to the people. So he understands that in San Francisco at the time, the biggest problem, it's not about the gay rights, it's not about war, it's not about, the migration. It's about something very trivial, dog's poop. So he understands and he reframes the game. So from the game, which was, this is all about, rights, he moves into the position where he stages an event, steps into dog's poop in front of the camera when he is running for the third time, and said, okay, whether gay or straight, I'm going to curtail you of the dog's poop. And he gets elected. And of course, the rest is history. So you have a Hollywood blockbuster which shows the evolution from extreme to the mainstream, from how you build from small group of people into the nationwide movement, which eventually wins. So I mean, it's like the lessons are all around us, but it seems to me that Americans are sometimes like Serb. You try to learn from beginning every time.
Yes.
So watch the Martin Luther King story, watch the LGBT story, and find your little dog's poop. Your little unifying proposition, which can bring people who think like you, but also the people who don't think like you on the same page.
The issues of intersection, or dog's poop.
Yeah.
I think we could talk for hours, but we don't have hours because you have to go out there and talk to the world now, the outside world.
This was great pleasure.
It was a pleasure having you, an honor. Okay, let me see if I can say it properly. Srdja, right?
Yeah.
I got it. Popovic.
Thank you, Nomi.
Did I get it?
Pleasure being
Greek
with you.
accent.
That's a
Thank
good
you
Greek
very
accent.
much. I'm Nomi Konst with TYT at the Oslo Freedom Forum in New York City. We're going to be doing more interviews, so stay tuned.